Hello and welcome to the Pisces Full Moon Community Ceremony. As you know, my name is Judy Keating and I'm the co-creative managing partner of Wise Transformation with Bonnie Salomon. We are two women intent on bringing elemental wisdom and feminine magic back into everyday life. So, welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you an agenda of what we're going to go through today. And I'm going to talk to you about some upcoming events. And we'll call in sacred space and we'll talk a little bit about the timing and get ceremonial guidance from the Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle. And we'll be together maybe a little less than an hour, but so glad you're here. And whether you're here live or on the recording, we at Wise Transformation really appreciate your participation in these very important times of new and full moons. So we just completed the Galactic Gathering of Wise Women up in North Georgia, and it was absolutely amazing. This is just a couple of pictures from the event. And I did want to let you know that you can join us online. Thanks, Christine. She says, happy to be here. You can join us online January 29th and 30th, 2022. It's the last weekend in January for the Gathering of Wise Women. Some of what was shared was so invaluable that we are going to have some of the same speakers come back and share that information online so that it can be recorded, that you can watch it from your home, and that we can reach our international sisters with this information. So mark your calendars now for the Gathering of Wise Women, January 29th and 30th, 2022. And we'll have full details about the event out very soon. As you may know, in a couple of days is the autumnal equinox, and Bonnie Salomon has recorded a very rich autumnal equinox community ceremony. And the recording of that is already up on our YouTube channel. But when I send out this recording, that recording will be sent out as well as a reminder. So we're in a very, very luscious time for Wheel of the Year because we're at the Pisces full moon and the autumnal equinox is just around the corner in 2 days. I teach a class called Transformative Self-Healing. It's all done online, but it is using a method called Crystalline Consciousness Technique. And it will give you a protocol where you can do self-healing, and you can also do what's called set up your fields, which gives you energetic protection and allows you to really hear your voice creatively. So if you'd like more details about that class, you can go to innerlifecoaching.net for the details of that class. So those are our upcoming events. Just want to keep you apprised of what's going on with Wise Transformation in the community. So as always, the first time when we have our call, we open to the living field of creation and we tap into the elemental forces of Earth. And Earth was so incredible. Getting to be in the North Georgia mountains, all the women there got to gather around a fire circle. So we got to have earth and fire and water because there was rain. But for Earth today, I'd really like to call in gratitude, the energy of gratitude. Let's call that to our circle today. And water. Water helps us to stay alive. Helps us to stay hydrated, helps us to move our emotions. So I'm going to call in the energy of float today from water. That ability to just relax and be with your emotions, to float. And because it's the Pisces full moon, and Pisces is all about visioning for the future with your heart center, I'm going to call in the visionary energy of air and fire. I'm going to call in movement. We had such beautiful dancing at the event. It was joyous, it was connected, but that movement help us to integrate what we learned. And that's part of the blessings of our human body. I'm going to mute everybody just for the sound, the recording. And you can unmute yourself if you want to talk when we get to the sharing portion. And finally, spirit. I'd like to call on the unified field in the spirit realm, where the interconnections of all the elements bring together the magic of the unified field. No problem at all, Christine. No problem at all. Okay, so when we have a full moon and sun, they're in opposite archetypes, and the full moons can be used as release phases, or they can also be used as magnifying phases. So we have a sun in Virgo and a moon in Pisces. And as you look at the wheel, you can see they're opposite each other on the wheel. So Virgo, which is our sun right now, Virgo, an earth sign, teaches the significance of dedicated work. It understands and honors patterns and cycles and timings and rhythms. It accesses the priestess within to honor the sacred in the natural world through ceremony and ritual. It's organized, practical, dependable, productive, and a hard worker with a tremendous capacity for handling the details in the earthly realm. It's dedicated to doing its sacred work by being of service in the world. So that's our sun energy. And then our full moon in Pisces, Pisces teaches us the importance of a compassionate heart. It feels the grief and suffering of humanity and responds with a loving, caring heart that heals. It's deeply spiritual, intuitive, and psychic. It serves the world by dreaming the visions of a peaceful planet and selflessly helping others to create a better life. It completely merges with humanity and the divine. So those two energies are very different. Hard worker, visionary, who can merge. But we're holding both of those at this time, because today is actually the Pisces full moon. So I'm going to skip that because I thought I took it out. So when you think about Pisces dreams and imagines a better world, and Virgo has dedicated rhythmic work to bring your manifestations physically into being. So those are two very different energies, but we have the opportunity to call on them both at this time. So I'm going to ask you, because we're in the Pisces full moon, to connect deeply to the divine and ask, what is my highest priority manifestation focus or creation focus for the next 2 weeks with this full Pisces moon? So you can also look at the next 2 weeks, and because we're heading towards the autumnal equinox, you can also peek maybe at what else you want to have happen the rest of the year. Hi, Tina, welcome. So we're just focusing on what we want to focus on for this next 2 weeks with Virgo sun and Pisces full moon. What's our highest priority manifestation? That's what we're working on, and I'll put a little music on. And of course, I'll be doing my notes and journaling as well. Let me know if you can't hear this music. I hope it gets better. I've got it turned all the way up. Let me look what else I can do to make the music a little louder. We have plenty of time, but when you have what you're going to be working on, if you could let me know by typing done in the chat. Okay, thank you both. Okay. So as I said, we use Lisa Michaels' Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle as a guidepost for what we do. So I pull the cards for the collective. If you have this deck, you can pull your own cards. And the theme of the questions is going to be compassion, of course, because that's a Pisces energy. So we're in the Pisces full moon. So where do you need to apply compassion for how long things take to grow and develop in the physical? Or where else do you need to have compassion for anything that's going on for you? And for the collective, I pulled the card Body Wisdom. So in the physical realm, where do you need to apply compassion? Sometimes when we are creating or we want something to manifest, we don't have patience for how long something's going to take. So anything in the physical that you feel called to journal about and applying compassion, that's what we would like you to do. So again, I'll turn on the music. we still have more time, but I wanted to share what I got. So if you feel like you can type in the chat what you get, that would be very helpful for the collective. I got that I need to have more compassion about my body needing rest, especially after expending a great deal of energy. And I got compassion about my physical environment isn't exactly the way that I want it. And I haven't had time to focus on that, and just have compassion that I will get to it and that I will make it much more the way that I want it. So those are just a couple of examples of what I got and I wanted to share. So if you feel like you can share, you can type it in the chat, but I'll give you just another couple minutes of music if you need it, unless you're done. So Tina shares, working on transforming my home into what suits me now, a process. Most definitely, Tina. Thank you for sharing that. And anyone else, if you want to just let me know you're done, if you don't want to share. And if you do want to share, it's so helpful. Oh, Christina, she shares, Christine, I'm sorry, I put an A on it. Christine says, this is so beautiful. I am pregnant and almost halfway. According to yogic philosophy, the baby's soul moves into the body at the 120th day after conception, which is tomorrow at full moon. And I got the message now to create a nourishing spiritual and physical practice to welcome this new soul. How stunningly beautiful, Christine. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's a gift to the whole community. Thank you. Absolutely beautiful. So as we look at the emotional realm, when I pulled the card for the collective, I got emotional awareness. And that's a card that I pulled recently, I think, too. So where do you need to apply compassion for all of your emotions is one question you can use. Or if there's any feeling guidance that you get about what you should tap into for water, you want to follow your own guidance and your own emotional awareness. But if you'd like a question to work with, where do you need to apply compassion for all of your emotions is what we're working with as a general question. I'll get the rest of your comments, Christine, when we're finished with water. Thank you. Beautiful, Tina. I'm going to share that in just a minute or two. Beautiful. If you're watching the recording and I go too fast, you can always pause the recording and take time. The lovely ladies that are with me today, we're working with their timing. And we appreciate them being here, but if you're listening to the recording, we appreciate you too. Christine, if you can just let me know if you're done or when you're done. Anything you want to share as well, I'll get all the comments caught up. We have some incredible wisdom here today. I'm so grateful. I wanted to go back because Christine made another earth comment. And then we'll move to the water comments. So Christine shared, so daily yoga, being outside, keeping my environment beautiful, eat and sleep well are my earthly practices. I think that's wonderful advice for all of us. So thank you, Christine, for sharing. And then when we moved on to water, Tina also pulled the emotional awareness card, and she shared she struggled a lot with grief that surfaces intermittently with no warning. I need to allow the tears and allow the release and release the fear. Tina, thank you for sharing that. Your vulnerability is a gift, and letting those tears, that sacred water, move is exactly what it's there for, to allow your emotions to move. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Christine even said, it's beautiful, Tina. She says, I often take on other concerns, and as I am now growing a new life in my body, I allow myself to not engage too much in others. Sorry, I'm scrolling a little bit. In others' emotions. I will see and honor everyone and their emotions, but stay in my own essence and emotions. Christine, I would say that you're teaching us about good boundaries. Good boundaries. Thank you so much. Beautiful ladies. Thank you. And of course, Pisces is a water sign. So very keen emotional awareness today. Appreciate it very much. And so we're in the air realm, which is the mental realm. And I pulled freedom for the air card. And it's so fascinating because freedom was a theme in the talk that I presented just Saturday morning. So where do you need to apply compassion for the way your beliefs have impacted your creation capacity? So sometimes we hold beliefs that don't serve us, or we hold beliefs that are outdated for us. And where do we need to have compassion for that? Sometimes our belief systems aren't caught up to where we really are. And if there's anything in the mental realm, any beliefs or visions that you hold that aren't high vibe for you, how can you have compassion for that? And we'll turn on some music. Tina and I are vibing on the same wavelength. She also got freedom. She got the freedom card. Christine shares, I have earlier not taken enough time for my creative practice, nor less shared it with the world, because I have not felt worthy without artist education. Now, creating our third child, I feel that I am great creatrix and allow myself to be the artist that I am in more ways. Creations move through me rather than from me. Thanks for this reminder. That's beautiful, Christine. Beautiful. Tina contributes, my beliefs have kept me in jail and unable to create and move forward in my life due to fear. I need compassion for that process rather than dissolve in my regrets. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, good work on both your parts. Yeah, way to process what's happening for you. Way to be aware. And way to create more freedom. Thank you. I'm just taking a big old deep breath on those shares. Just stunning. Okay, now we're going to move on to fire. And I got illumination with fire. And so where do you need to apply compassion for how you work with consistent rhythm to manifest something? And, you know, any way that you take action, that you judge, it prevents the juice from being fully felt. So where do you need to apply compassion with how you work and whether you use consistent rhythm to manifest. Where does that show up for you? Where do you need to apply that compassion? Beg your pardon, I'm going to mute myself for a few minutes. Well, my puppy. If you hear my puppy in the background, I do apologize, but I want to be sure to read these beautiful comments. Let me turn off the music so you can really hear me. Tina says, I have to allow the times of slowing as well as the times of action. They are a cycle. I just need to keep moving forward at a steady rate and not beat myself up for not doing more and doing faster. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And she got the will card. That's a great noticing with that card. That's wonderful. And Christine says, I used to primarily follow my menstrual inner rhythm, and now when pregnant, I have got a bit lost in following a rhythm. That makes perfect sense, Christine. I will have compassion for this and see the opportunity to follow the rhythm of the moon. I have been longing for this. That's just, that makes me pause and just want to allow that to sink into me, Christine. Thank you. Thank you both. And, you know, in the Wheel of the Year time, as we approach the autumnal equinox, when we have equal light and dark, it is a time when we're going to start turning more towards the dark, which is the time to go inward, the time to slow down a little bit. We're coming out of the very fiery, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we're coming out of that fiery time of do, or even have fun, like summer, do summer activities. As we're moving into fall, we move more toward that quiet, reflective, build on the inner time. But thank you, great contributions today. So glad you both are here. And we're moving on to spirit, and I got personal divinity for the collective. And where do you need to apply compassion for how your spirituality impacts your manifestations? Where do you need to have compassion? And you can ask Spirit, where do I need compassion with you, Spirit? That's a great question. So whatever of those questions helps you today in this Pisces full moon, just reflect on that. See what you get. Okay, ladies, beautiful. So Tina shared that she got the upliftment card from the deck, and I need to allow the spiritual to uplift me and raise my vibration in difficult times when lower vibrations threaten to overwhelm me. What a great awareness, Tina. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Christine says, I am opening up for that I am opening up for that my manifestations can be even more magical than I can imagine. With my limited human mind, I let spirit flow and create through me in trust, gratefulness, and awe. Thank you. Thank you, Christine. I got a message about being still, that being still is important for me, and that I have to have compassion when I judge that being still isn't what's needed, or I dismiss the message to be still. Have compassion for those times. So now it's time to pull it all together in terms of utilizing this Pisces full moon. And I have an extra, let me just look here. Nope. So as you put together your unified field, what dreams want to emerge and be created in the physical? What dreams want to emerge and be created in the physical? It's just a different way to do the unified field. I just took a little bit of Virgo, a little bit of Pisces, and put it together in a question. So when you look at what Earth, Air, Water, Fire, Spirit said to you, you can use this question, or you can just ask, what is the unified field message that I'm to work with in the Pisces full moon? And again, I'll just put some music on. Hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So Tina got, as I work with structure and form while keeping emotional awareness, I use my will to cultivate freedom and upliftment. Beautiful. Ah, that's just very, very clear, Tina. I like it. Christine shares, to share what I discovered during this pregnancy with other mothers-to-be, to wrapping up the book of prenatal yoga that I've been teaching and writing for 13 years, to let it be born into physical form before the winter solstice. What a beautiful intention, Christine. Keep us apprised, and we'd be happy to feature your book, maybe in our newsletter, once it's published. And I decided to put mine in the chat as well, just to be part of the circle. And I got, allow a sacred container of grace to hold the riverbanks of holy water within. See what pulls you in during this Pisces full moon. So what a wonderful time this has been to just slow down and see what the elements can tell us, and the full moon and the sun. Just lovely. So I did want to make sure you were aware that Mercury Retrograde begins September 26th. And I wanted to say this picture of Mercury is a colorful version that was assembled from spectral data taken with the Messenger spacecraft, highlighting various minerals on the planet's surface. And my Gemini self just thought it was pretty. So I wanted to share that picture of Mercury with you today. Mercury retrograde begins September 26th. So in a retrograde time, it's all about revisiting, reviewing, researching. It's not about starting something new so much as it is cleaning house, finishing things that are dangling, that kind of thing. But we'll talk more about it as it gets closer. But just wanted to give you that reminder that it's coming. Oh, thanks, Christine. She says this was a very ground and uplifting session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I want to let you know that our next call. Oh, let me just have gratitude ground and close officially. Pisces and Virgo. What a beautiful, beautiful combination. Compassion for humanity with sacred right action. Thank you both, Virgo and Pisces. And our next call will be our Libra new moon call, and it'll be October 5th at 3 p.m. So you might want to mark your calendar. This recording will be posted on our YouTube channel if you want to look at it again, or if maybe you have a girlfriend or two that you'd like to share it with. Our YouTube link is in our emails. And I just appreciate your time today, ladies. Thank you for being with me. And if you're listening on the recording, we so appreciate you as well. And be sure to take time with this Pisces full moon and get the messages that are yours to move forward. I'll see you next time. Much love.